Yes. What?
Hey girl, hey. Oh,
How you doing?
took a bite right out of crime with that one. I'm well. It's Thursday again. Look at us. The week is nearly over. Listen, I'm trying to make sense of what's going on with me, like when I'm upset, when I'm feeling emotionally unwell, unstable, normally like clockwork, my period's coming up and it's like, oh, okay, that explains it all. Can't be real. But my period has since passed and I still have been feeling for the past 2 weeks very emotional, like bawling, crying type of, not just like weepy, but like bawling, crying. And I've been thinking about it and I have a couple theories, but I've also been working out rigorously and consistently, which I'm really proud of. And I feel like there has to be some kind of like somatic connection between moving my body. Let me finish my sentences, working on that. Moving my body and feeling these emotional upheavals, being overwhelmed, feeling tearful. Many times I've been in the gym and that fucking stair, John, I be on that stair thing
crying,
listening to Kanye West and holding back tears and going back into the back.
Why holding them back?
Because I don't want to be crying in the middle of on the stairwell. I'll go to the locker room and I'll like let the tears fall, or I'll come home and I'll really just bawl. And I think, I think it's not for nothing. I think that what's happening as I like meet the challenge and like the internal resistance to like, or rather the physical resistance to pushing my body, to push myself, as I like make that a practice to do that and to consciously and consistently try to change physically. I think that is connecting to like a more emotional self-awareness. I feel like I'm meeting the parts of myself that I would normally, I don't want to think about that, or subconsciously ignore. It's like, no, you're in practice of something physically that I think is happening, is being transmuted to this emotional space, and I cannot stuff these emotions. I cannot hide from them, and I don't know what to do with them either. So it's just like lots of crying, just lots of looking at myself, lots of in the same way in the gym, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing for real. I'm just going every fucking week, asking people, researching, I'm learning as I'm going. I feel like the same kind of thing is happening emotionally, where it's like, oh no, you have to meet yourself and you have to outgrow these patterns. And it does not feel good. I don't feel in control. I, again, don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just curious to, all the girlies out there, people, doesn't have to be girlies. If y'all experience this too. I Googled it and everything's like, no, working out makes you less depressed. And I'm like, no, working out making you more emotional, making you more sad.
I think that like, your body has stored so much.
Oh, I know.
And so it's unlocking.
It's all coming out.
So
and I'm like,
are you feeling depressed, or are you having to face all the stuff that you've stored away?
Depression is not the word, but I feel emotional. Day in, day out. It's like an ache. It's like a muscle ache. It's like I can't escape this tenderness that I have, and in all relationships, like I will cry at the drop of a dime, and then I have to sit with like, well, girl, why are you crying? I've been watching The Bear, which I do not like this season. Boo! I'm can't help but say it, but I am just disappointed in the season. Nonetheless, it makes me cry. I've been listening to Esther Perel, her therapy sessions, which have just been top notch. They've been so fucking good. And I'm just packing orders and bawling. It's not just a sniffle. It's just like, I cannot stop this shit even if I wanted to. So yes, I think it's definitely like a release, and the body keeps score, and it's like, oh, you wanna
I
get a
hope you keep
BBL,
leaning
handle
into
all
that.
of this trauma that you have. That's the sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you keep leaning into that, honestly. I hope that you keep unlocking that.
I'm trying to get a
I really
BBL.
suggest going to hot yoga, because that stretching, that opening up of different, parts of your body that really are probably untapped and tight, and like releasing that might help you really like fully release. Whereas if you're in the gym and you're lifting and you're exerting, like, yeah, you're moving your body, but it's not a full expansion, and you're not really doing breath work as much, like really intentional breath work. So I've gone into hot yoga and wept numerous of times. Yeah. But I also think you need to call your therapist, because this is a great time to unpack some of this.
Probably. There ain't no turning back now. So
I'm proud of you. I think this is great. I think you should be, it's hard, but I think that you should be really proud of yourself too.
no, I hate it. I hate it. I'm not gonna lie. I hate this because a part of me wants to, feel it. It wants to name the emotions that are coming up. Oh, you're tripping. You're crazy. You're being erratic. You're,
That ain't naming it. You just judged it.
Well, exactly. Judging it, like bringing this language to it. Whereas I'm also just learning to just like experience it and let it pass over me and be more curious about it. And that's the work that I want to take to the.
Can you name it?
To the
Can
therapist.
you name what it is that you're feeling? You don't have to name it now, but I'm asking, because sometimes I'm feeling something and I don't know what it is that I'm feeling. I don't actually have all of the nomenclatures in my toolbox.
Oh, not
Sorry,
nomenclature.
I couldn't find the word. I don't have all of the like, I don't have a feelings wheel in front of me to identify what it is that I'm actually feeling. And so I will rush to judgment if I can't identify what the feeling is.
No, not all the time.
Yeah.
It's right now. It has to come out. It's like,
girl, get
it
your
just
therapist.
has to
They will
come
help.
out. Have to
Your
come out.
therapist will help you identify those feelings. And I think that will help. That will be so enlightening.
Yeah, I gotta add her to the roster of my routine.
What's your girl name?
Bianca.
Bianca?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Juliana and Bianca. Look at us. And Rolando.
Rolando. How are you?
You're done talking about the bear? That's all you wanted to say, was that you did like it?
Yeah, that the bear is very emotional. It's meant to be. It's very dramatic, but this season, nah, it is not hitting. I think they need to.
They just won so many awards.
And I sure I don't think I didn't like the season. I watched it. I cried, but I was like, oh.
Interesting.
You haven't even started The Bear, have you?
No, that's up next. I just finished Breaking Bad, girl. I don't know when I can't watch TV like that. I can't get it done. It's in spurts for me. And right now, I'm not done with Breaking Bad. I'm still going through the deep dives and listening to all the things on YouTube and listening to the actors talk about what parts were improv and why they made those decisions and which camera angles were different and why they were different. Especially, there was a really good one I might send you, where when Walt finally comes home after what happens to Hank, and how they shot it so different than they ever have. And it was to be disjointed. It was really cool.
People are like, girl, this is 15 years old.
I'm like,
and you talking to me
alert!
like I saw it yesterday too. I'm like, I don't remember this shit. But
oh man, we gotta watch something together.
It was fantastic. That's all I know.
Why can't we watch something really good together? Like, I don't get it. Like, every time it's like,
because I've already saw it, or right? You've already saw it. Yeah, it's
we watched The Wire late and Game of Thrones late.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all like, girl, wait. But I can't imagine watching Breaking Bad. I was talking to my partner about it. And I was like, yo, I know that I'm enjoying this and I'm hype about it. But if I would have had to wait between seasons and wait like a week for the next episode and been talking to people about it and had all my theories, I would have enjoyed this so much more. Like, there is something about the old model of television that I just think works so beautifully, that like when you binge it, it's not the same. The fact that like you can see it and you don't sit with it. Like, there's so much stuff that I didn't sit with, that I experienced and was like, that is incredible. And then the next episode, I was already on to the next thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's a real shame for the art. So I'm one of these weird people that's like, yeah, I love binging because I'm a selfish consumer, but from an artist perspective, I know I would like this so much more and get so much more out of it. You can
watch it multiple times though. Even watching it, we've been watching Game of Thrones. The third, fourth time you pick up stuff that I'm just like,
I still have Game of Thrones on in the background still.
What?
I think The Wire is probably the one that I watch the most.
I need to watch The Wire again. I've only watched it once, so I need to go for my second round of The Wire.
Yeah. Now I don't have many updates. Oh yes, I do. Joy got shot.
Joy. Sorry, that's just
pain.
Always has to be said.
She got her shot. She's right next to me now, and I was like very nervous.
What does she get shots for?
Dogs need shots. Crazy.
For what? Chicken pox? Girl, like what they getting shots for?
$500 worth of shots. Rabies, this worm, that worm, I don't know what all this stuff is, but they can get sick just like humans. So she had to get her vaccinations, which is interesting. Now it all makes sense as to why you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. She had to get her vaccinations and she gets these shots. And so afterwards she was like a little lethargic, but she was still herself. And I took her for a walk and whatever. And then the next day, baby, Joy was comatose. And I said, is my dog okay? Is the baby okay? Her mother will kill me. Okay.
Did she know you were getting her shots? Of course, right? That was like a part of the plan.
I would just go get the dog shots. I would check in with Jazz first. But I was setting alarms to check on her breathing.
Oh, if you were to have a baby, what an interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could have a baby because the way I was freaking out over this dog, like, it was ridiculous. Like, really stressed out, just like cutting. And then she has to lose weight. So now she's only 6 pounds overweight, which is not that bad. So there's going to be, we have apples, we have sweet potato, we have cucumbers, less doggy peanut butter. Can't give her as much of that because it's high caloric intake, but lots of things like that. And she's loving it. She's just loving it. So
she's a vegetarian. Good for her.
Well, not really, but
do y'all give her meat or like dog food?
Well, Crystal babysat her because I went to Angela's birthday party. And so Crystal babysat her for a couple hours and she hit me and was like, oh, she just ate my chicken breast off the table. And I was like, what? Like, she must have left the food right there and walked away because Joy does not do that with me. So with Crystal, she had chicken breast and green beans. And I was like, I gave you kibble. And she was like, that dog don't want them pebbles. She not eating that with me. And so she just refused to give her that. But I'm not going to introduce like anything else to her because I feel like when she goes home, then
what? So
Jazmine has to
eating kibble.
Cook her chicken every night. No.
Do you watch the accounts where the women they have these gorgeous pit bulls, like beige, gray?
I tried to do that with her, and rub the coconut oil all over her. Yeah,
Oh, they're
hello.
gorgeous. They feed them
Yes.
6 eggs, liver. I'm just into it. I'm like,
This is the
they
type of life that I'm trying to get as baby girl.
you need
Except
to get a dog. That would be
I'm
very
not
expensive.
ready.
What? That makes no sense, but we don't have to go into that because that
I'm
makes
not ready because
no sense to me.
I would want to get a. I'm sorry, did I hit you? I think I just rolled over her. See, rolled over her tail. I'm not ready because I would want to get a dog like when me and my partner like move in together because I need help, child. And I haven't had a dog in the winter, so walking this damn thing in the cold ain't gonna be as much fun. So let me see what it's hitting for a little bit because I'm like, this is cute in the summertime, but
Word.
I don't know about them hour-long walks in the snow.
Hour?
Well, she gets an hour of exercise a day, which is helping me. But speaking of Jazmine, I saw her last night at the Barclays Center.
Woo!
I've seen her at the Superdome, and I think that might be bigger for Essence. But this was like the first time I saw her at an arena, I think. Usually they're theaters.
Mhm.
And I cried. I was like, like when, I don't want to spoil it for you, but when you see it, you'll see how like the opening is big, high energy, different energy for her. It's giving budget. It's giving I'm a fucking star. I got my Grammys. Move out my motherfucking way. I've been here. But the main thing that I was like, yo, the crowd, the to be in a arena and hear these people singing every word and screaming and like loving her. And she's just up there, you know, in her zone where every show is fucking different. And this show specifically, the arrangement, like from start to finish, it was there was never a song where you were like, okay, that was cute. The whole show flowed so beautifully. The arrangements were so dope. Background, you know, I already know her background singer sound great and the band sounds great. So it was just like, and then her. And for anybody who has never seen her live,
it's
I want
a
to implore you.
completely different experience. And it's
the records do her no I mean, they do her justice, but they don't do her to hear her tone. I feel like the records compress her tone and the different tones that she has. Like I was listening to her and I'm like, yo, when she goes to the fucking floor and is like singing down there, and then when she pops up, like she has so many different styles and approaches to like how she sings, how she tells her story. Her storytelling is taking off. Her stage presence has taken off. It's just
sweet
like
baby Jazz.
she fucking killed it.
I can't wait to see it.
I was emo. My boyfriend was like taking video of me, like trying to, you know, I was getting annoyed, like, please stop, because I'm like about to cry. But it was like it was the best. It was the best seeing her back on stage after everything that she's experienced the past couple of years and surrounded by really, really good people. You know,
did you watch Maxwell?
I did. I went to say hi to her. We kicked it for a bit and then I was like, I really want to see Maxwell. Because what's crazy is the last time that I would have had the opportunity to see Maxwell was when she was a baby on tour with him.
Remember
for her
that?
first record. Yes.
Yeah.
And I stayed backstage to talk to her. So I missed him. So I was like, I'm going out to get my auntie two-step on because, honey, this was my crowd. As soon as I walked in, I said, oh yes, I'm home. That Hotels tour, that brought out the riffraff. I wasn't always, I was like, this is a younger crowd for me now. But we was stepping, we was feeling good.
I cannot wait.
Everybody had their little, you know.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Come on, Maxwell.
No, he killed it. And you will love him. Anybody he's from Brooklyn.
What's his
Anybody
ancestry?
who sees
Caribbean?
he's Haitian and Trini, I believe. Anybody who
Oh,
sees
that's right.
Maxwell, you're just gonna feel good. Maxwell, you can feel is a good person. That's all Jasmine talks about, is how good of a human being he is, how
You can tell.
sweet he is.
Yeah.
He ends his show by turning on all the lights and having everybody that's on stage with him come forward and introduce themselves. He's like, these are my musicians. Like, these are musicians. He's, you know, he's taking his liberties on stage. He's directing the band. He's having a great time. He goes in the audience. It's just a real like love letter and thank you like note to his fans the whole time. He's just like, thank you all. I was a busboy in Brooklyn and now I'm here and it's because of you all. And like, I know what it is to do all of the work, and all of the work is important. And so like, don't be caught out here fucking tripping. Like, y'all are important. Like, that was his whole energy. So I just want
I'm excited.
ramble.
This next weekend. Oh, also we're going to be at CultureCon as well. So shout out to
We're going to CultureCon. Shout out to CultureCon. They heard our plea.
They heard Antoinette's she said, I ain't going unless I'm VIP. They said say less, fam. I was like,
shut up.
yes, we can bring it back. I ain't in Gen Pop. They said say less. And they gifted us tickets. So we're very excited to go to CultureCon. If you guys intend on coming, we'll see you there on that Saturday. Unfortunately, I can't come Sunday, but Saturday I'll be there. Sunday is Jazmine's show.
Oh, that's a good enough excuse. That makes sense to me. Okay. Well, then Bobby's there Sunday. All right, let's take a break, Sheila.
You're going to go by yourself on Sunday?
No.
I'm so confused. Are you going on Saturday?
Yes.
Then why would you say I'll be there? Oh, you're not going to go by yourself.
But I'll be there Sunday.
Interesting.
I'll be with you Saturday and somebody else Sunday. Who shall remain nameless.
If you guys want to see the mystery, that'll
it ain't a mystery. CultureCon. Posted his ass online. Come on. Sing for me.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Is he going on Saturday as well?
I think so, yeah. He asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, I'm going. Your little fancy ass, because he got tickets too. I was like, look at you. You get on my nerves. I thought I was doing something. He was like, oh, yeah, it is. Whatever. All right. It happened that the way that he does his set too, though, for real, the way he gets into his songs, like, you don't always know which one is which. Like, if you know his music, you will. But that part, he had
I can't wait. I'm gonna listen after we get this tonight. Tonight, I'm gonna get into the moment. It's like Friday, and it's definitely not. Get it together.
Keep going.
Give me a feeling.
Give me a feeling.
I don't know the words. You gave me this feeling, baby.
This rhythm. Oh, yeah.
This rhythm inside. Make me feel good. Feel loved
and feel. I don't know.
Gave me paradise. We were young. The fact that we even know those words is shout out to us. My first Maxwell concert, I went on a date with a lesbian woman that I didn't know she was a lesbian. I love her to death. She's my friend to this day. But she was in college. She took me, a high schooler, and she had this gorgeous friend. And I was like taken aback at how gorgeous her friend was. And I remember saying to her, like, oh, she's going to her boyfriend's house? And she looked at me and she was like, no. And I was like, what other possibilities could be there? I don't know. I was just so confused. Anyway, shout out to Lolo.
I found out she was gay before me.
She wasn't coming on to me, but she was like,
oh, I would have loved that better.
She took me to Maxwell.
You need to date a woman. I feel like it would go very well for you.
Yeah.
I actually really do.
You think I'm gay?
But not like a no, I just talk about dating. And also maybe a little bit you be gay all the time. Because you're always attempting to have, like, you have feelings for women, or at least attraction to women, because when we Are
When we
we
go
gonna act like
dancing.
there's mad times that
When
you
we
were
go
like, this is
dancing.
my girlfriend, I'm going home with her? Like, don't, what are we talking about right now? That wasn't one time, that wasn't two
You
times.
stopped
Like,
my
you
first
be
gay
gay.
experience. That's crazy. You cock blocked
So
for real, for real. Like
I didn't cock block.
literally.
Tina cock block
no,
because Tina was like, she's actually not sober, and so I'm fine with the decision, but she needs to be sober, and she's in another city with a phone is dying. Talk about I'm leaving with her. No, the fuck you're not.
She was mad too. She was like, "Damn, dick eater." She was mad at y'all.
But I'm saying, I feel like that you should definitely explore.
I gotta find the right one.
You
You know,
single, yeah. You just can't find one that's too hype, that's too on your body, but also you like to be swallowed up a little bit.
I don't know.
So it might be
sometimes
perfect.
your slang. Sometimes I don't know what you talk about. What do you mean? Not too much on my body?
You said that you like to eat some. You like not somebody that's not all over you, like this. Like,
okay, I do.
What is
I
it
need
called?
somebody that's all over me.
What is that called? When somebody's all over you, they are
on my fucking nerves.
No, that's not it. There's
on
a word for that. When they're what is it? When they're
overbearing.
Yeah, overbearing. There's an
like
easier
me too
word for
much.
that.
I want to be confused. I don't want somebody that likes me too much till I'm ready for them to
That's
be
your
alive.
problem.
Mm-hmm. Tricky over here. Therapy, here I come. I like people, but then I don't. And then I get mad when they can't understand how I feel. Well, help me.
Smothering.
Lady. Oh, absolutely not. Never.
Yeah, you can't be smothered.
Ever.
But you can't also, you don't like to necessarily guess how somebody feels about you. You want to miss them.
But I want to be dominated in a way too. I want somebody to be like,
you don't want to be smothered, but you want somebody like, come here when I want you to come here.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds like a great lesbian to me.
Lesbians are notoriously slum mothering, though. I think they're notoriously like, we live together now.
Well, they move
love
fast.
each other. I'm your wife.
We're generalizing like crazy, but what I'm saying is the come here energy, the women that have come here energy and they know how to wield it, boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
Some of the best come here energy I ever had was with my girl. I said,
she said with my girl, you make me sick.
This is my boo.
She said with my girl.
Yeah, I said, wow, you really know what a woman wants. Makes sense.
What a time to be alive. That was an interesting summer.
That was not just a summer. You're so disrespectful.
Well, when it first started happening, it was the summertime.
Yeah. Shout out to Costa Rica.
That was the day. We need to go back to the episode. But that was the day that we went to Afropunk. You were high out your mind. You had a margarita. Not everybody has heard the story, so can I proceed or do you want to not? It's a waste of time.
This is not a part of the episode.
I'm just saying.
We're being offensive a little bit.
Is this your waste of your time? No, that's true. Everybody says it. And you saw every single man you've ever dated on top of the woman that you were starting to date. Every single person that you dated in New York
the person that
Afropunk.
broke my heart that sent me to Costa Rica.
Everybody.
Where I fell in love with my girlfriend.
And the big dog. And her.
Yeah.
That you dated in New York was at Afropunk. And you saw why you were like this.
I looked cute though that day. At least I looked cute because I had lost my weight. Remember? I was running my ass off that summer. I gotta feel better. You talk about crying and running. Bitch, I was out there like people used to think that I was running away from somebody. I was like, I'm working out and just going through something, okay?
I hurt my feelings. Like a woman that got her heart broken out of the fucking gym.
He hurt my feelings and he told me that he cheated on me with a bitch because he just wanted to try somebody that was more fit. I said, oh, for real? You son of a bitch.
That is
triggered. Let's go. Let's move on. Why would he say that?
That's like, why I don't fuck with him to this day. I don't fuck with him to this day.
I said, And also, no, that wasn't it. With your goofy ass. That
You
might have
got-
been why you thought you did that with your sick. No, let's not do that because he's come back and apologized and told me why.
I
And
don't
it was
accept it.
about him. Therapy does help. We have to be
I still
abolitionists.
don't accept it. When it
Gotta
comes
let
to that,
go
him,
of
I don't know
things.
why it's with him and you that I just don't have no grace. A lot of other people that do. Interesting.
It is. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We 30 minutes in, ain't podcast, nothing yet. All right. Sorry, y'all. All right, go ahead.
And we're back. And we're back with a plea. Isn't that annoying? You thought you was going to hear some good news. You thought you was going to hear us cackle. No, we're coming back on our knees, begging, please. Consider becoming a patron for our Patreon account where you can see this episode and an archive of past episodes. Oh, internet's looking at her phone while I speak right now.
I was trying
That is
to get
rude.
I was trying to get the other clips. And of
You
course
would
the
be able
sound
to
was
see
on.
the
Sorry.
shame and the flush of her cheeks in this moment if you were on Patreon.
Sorry.
Shout out to those that made that change. Barry K, 5K. Alasia.
I feel like Alasia cancels and rejoins every month because I'm sick to say her name. Shout out to Alasia. Alasia, stay, all right? Alasia, just stay. Okay? Damn.
Baby, won't you just stay? Shout out to Jerry. The three of y'all. Let's try to get that up to 5 next month, all right? That's our goal, is 5 new patrons next month. That would take us to a place of security, optimism, and help the morale of this business. If just 5 new patrons consider joining Around the Way Curls patrons, I'm clocking it now. You heard it here first. If you've been on the fence, we talking to you. Yeah, you. Make the change, all right? Join our Patreon. And everyone else who's already, you're already patrons, but you're still trying to support, you can rate, subscribe, and share this podcast with others.
Thank you, Shanti. That was beautiful. That was brilliant. Brilliant delivery. All right. Moving right along. Hot shit. We haven't had hot shit in a little bit of a minute, but y'all, we got something really great to talk about. We're back with our friends from the Culture LP. Shout out to them. And they have another offering for the Around the Way Curls community. This one comes from the New York Phil. They're doing a whole piece on Afro-modernism, the music of the African diaspora. So on October 17th and 18th, the New York Phil presents Afro-modernism, music of the African diaspora, which I just said. It's a powerful program that celebrates the voices of Black composers and their impact on the classical music world. Celebrate the work of Black creators under the direction of conductor Thomas Wilkins, where they will explore how the arts and cultures of contemporary Africa and the African diaspora influenced modern arts movements. The series features the music by Black composers Carlos Simons, 4 Black American dances, and Natalie Joachim's Children. It is a free
Joachim's Children.
wait.
That is not what her children have nothing to do with this. And you need to stop.
Wait, mark this time down, please. Oh my God. Right here. Put it right here, Shanti. So Kieran. Okay. Right here.
I'll put it there. Let me just do this.
All right, ready? Let me go back. We are not going to be ableist on this podcast. My eyes jumped down the screen. Dyslexia is real, so give me one moment. I was doing very well. Celebrate the work of Black creators under the direction of conductor Thomas Wilkins, where they will explore how the arts and cultures of contemporary Africa and the African diaspora influence modern arts movements. The series features Black music composers Carlos Simons, 4 Black American dances, and Natalie Chomin's newly commissioned cello concerto, a family-friendly concert with activities for children, and a free concert highlighting the Afro-diasporic experimental composers, plus free panel discussions and a fashion exhibit. So listen, y'all, do not miss this incredible celebration. This is super dope. We are always asking for Black art to be highlighted, to be backed, and we need to go and support Black art. This sounds amazing. I think I'm going to go. And you too can go with a discount from the Culture LP. So make sure you grab your tickets at nyphil.org, and that discount code is Culture LP20. Again, that's Culture LP20, and that code will be in the description of this episode. So check that out. And that is Thursday, October 17th here in New York at 7:30 p.m. and Friday, October 18th here in New York at 7:30 p.m. at Lincoln Center.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. I just want to add another note here to make sure that Kit, that he knows what to do. Oh boy, what?
So I think to break here is too soon, don't you?
If we're talking about this right now, you gotta mark it in the thing for Kira to take out. I can do Eric Adams and come in. Bring the break there. Break up politics.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like we just had one.
But you got to do you got to do the ending too, Shanti. Like that. Okay. Okay. All right. Politics as usual. Wow. So breaking news today. What is today? It's September 26th on a Thursday. It's only 1:58 p.m. I took the day off. And guess what? It was just reported last night that New York City Mayor Eric Adams is indicted, which is nuts. They had a press conference today. Well, both Eric Adams and what's the office that indicts him? His name is Damien. What's his name? Damien whooping his ass. He is Damien. Is his name Damien or Damon? Hold on, I got it. No, Damian Williams. Anyway, Eric Adams tried to get out ahead of it and hold his own press conference at the same time that the U.S. attorney was holding a press conference to talk about the indictment and what's in it. Basically, what they had said was Eric Adams took hundreds of thousands of dollars in travel gifts from folks over in Turkey. He also, even before he was mayor, was getting money from folks over in Turkey. And when it was time for Turkey to open, I believe their big old house, it's like a consulate, like in addition to their consulate, they wanted to expedite that process. And so he told the New York firefighter department to forego certain inspections and to pass them to let them open it. The real issue, that's the quid pro quo. They're still investigating. They're being very clear. They just raided the Gracie Mansion this morning at 6 a.m. and Eric Adams' lawyers are pissed because they're like, yo, you could have just called us if you wanted their phone. Like, you didn't have to come in here. But I think that is an indication that they're afraid that they're going to start destroying evidence, because I think it goes deeper. Like, okay, the fact that this building was open without it passing certain inspection is like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I think there's deeper ties to him in Turkey, and I think that that's the case that they are trying to make. Either way, he also took campaign money from foreign officials over there, and that is illegal as well, because the feds don't play when they think that you being influenced by other countries. They don't play that shit. So I'm not going to go into detail here, but I will say I will be following it. And I will say that during Mr. Eric Adams' press conference this morning, he had to hold his statements to wait for protesters to stop screaming at how much they hate him, how anti-Black he is, how he better not come out there and say that this is a Black man being persecuted by the law, because almost all of his laws have been anti-Black. So you wanted to be an abolitionist when? Not now. So you go ahead and face the consequences is basically the energy that they had for his ass. And no one in the city is upset. Not
He
a
came out
single
there with
New Yorker is upset.
17 Black people behind him too. I was just like,
All
boy,
pastors,
you
all
know,
people in the church.
whenever I think of
Child.
turkey, I think of their perfume. So you know, I know he probably smelled good. He had all them nice turkey,
Oh my
them
God.
perfumes from Turkey.
Girl, Jazz has a new perfume from Turkey.
Girl,
They
ain't no
smell
perfumes like
good.
the Turkish perfumes. I know that man smelled good. His shit stank, but I know he smelled fabulous. He was getting all the finest
The
Turkish
fact that that's where your
perfumes.
mind went is so you.
When I think of turkey, I think of hair implants and perfume.
And teeth. They got the lock on
Really?
teeth.
Oh, I didn't know teeth was a
Turkey
thing.
teeth.
Took over Colombia and all them places.
All they got the big teeth.
Colombia
Turkey got,
DR's butts.
Turkey got the little teeth. They
Okay,
got the
Turkey got
real like nice veneer
human
teeth.
chiclets.
And then you know what else they're starting to do?
We'll
You
talk
can go
about it.
over there and do a full body scan. You do like a full day where you like go to this hotel and you stay, and they do all of this proactive testing, like this pre-screening for everything that you could possibly have or get, and they give you everything
For the
like
low.
list for the low. I think it's like $1,000, which is nothing in comparison to what you would pay for that here. And you can get all of this information on your health and how to be more preventative in your nutrition and your exercise and to take better care of yourself. So I know 2 people that went over to Turkey and did that.
A patron, so Antoinette and I can see what predetermined diseases we can avoid if you just
I'm trying to
help fund our trip to Turkey. I will get perfume and make sure that I do not have pancreatic cancer in my history.
Let me tell you what,
my destiny.
for our 45th birthday year, or
we
maybe
went to
50,
Turkey.
I think we all going to Turkey and getting facelifts, neck lifts, whatever.
Talk about
I'm going to Turkey and getting
body
it done.
scans. Fuck out of here.
Come back smelling good.
Ain't nothing like a Turkish perfume, y'all. That's all I got to say.
But Turkey can't be coming over here messing with our elections and shit. Chill out, yo.
Turkey.
But also, nobody feels bad at all. And also, who's running the city? Governor Kathy Hochul needs to tell his ass to step down, and she knows she do. But I also feel like I would be remiss if I didn't state, like, I think that this is very interesting. Like, first of all, we know that Damian Williams is the same dude that read the indictment for Puff, right? And he's, I just think the Southern District of New York and New York in general is just on some like, we don't give a fuck who you are type energy right now. And they're like, we don't care if you Puff. We don't care if you Trump. We don't care if you the mayor of the motherfucking city that we are located in. Okay? And I'm kind of here for that energy. I don't know why. I'm not a big, legal system person, but I ain't mad. Not at all. Oh, okay. Let's take a break.
After these messages, did I sing this already? I ain't gonna be doing this twice. No,
you don't have to do it twice. Nobody told you to. But just so y'all know, we were told that we don't have enough ads in our stuff, so we had to put more in. Take it up with the I almost said the label. What
capitalism. Take it up with the label.
If y'all join Patreon more, we could probably do less ads.
Listen.
That's terrible. All right, come on.
It's real.
Take us through it. The Middle East.
The Middle East is erupting. I'm going to keep this brief because I don't know enough, but I do know that it's something that all eyes need to be on this. We need to be tracking this. We need to be aware of what's going on. Lebanon, last week we talked about the pager attacks in that erupted in Lebanon, injuring thousands, killing folks by the tens. Israel has continued to bomb Lebanon, killing 620 people and displacing over 500,000 people.
Child.
Okay? To displace 500,000 people is not just a little is not light work, right? This is a tactic of social unrest to break down society. Schools, hospitals, businesses, food, all supplies are then disrupted, and you have an entire country that is it's almost in an apocalyptic state.
It's
There's traffic
psychological
out the
warfare. Yeah.
traffic out the yin yang. People have nowhere to go. They panic. People take money out of banks. This is a complete and total disruption of life to destabilize this country intentionally. Reasons why Israel is attacking Lebanon. One, Lebanon borders Israel, and it's a perceived threat to Israel's security. As we stated last week, Lebanon supports Hezbollah, who supports Palestine, all of which do not respect Israel's existence and have not from the jump. These have been voices from the very, very beginning of Israel being established, have consistently not recognized Israel as a state, which makes Israel uneasy, of course. So, Israel is flexing its muscle. It's taking the offense. It is sending messages that we will not be fucked with, and we will blow your whole shit up. This is concerning to me because Hezbollah, Lebanon, Hamas, Palestine, all of these, quote unquote enemies of Israel. To me, it's kind of like the big dog would be Iran, right? And so Lebanon is connected and is allies with Iran. There's a lot of military and financial support amongst all of them.
Lebanon or Hezbollah specifically?
Hezbollah, forgive me. Lebanon houses Hezbollah. Hezbollah is the resistance, military force that is doing the action.
Lebanon is separate from Lebanon's military, but is functioning.
Right. So that we all have to understand that there's the body of land that holds the people, and then there's these resistance groups that are in the land. So for Gaza, Palestine, it's Hamas. For Lebanon, it's Hezbollah. For Iran, I think Hezbollah is also in Iran as well. But the what I'm nervous about, or what I think possibly happening, is Israel poking at all of these folks and the big dog of Iran, who is a major threat to the U.S. due to its continued pursuit of nuclear weapons. And its continued defiance towards the West by these folks will not bend the knee to Israel nor the U.S., which, if all of these things get inflamed, we're looking at an all-out war that could happen in the Middle East between Israel and all of these bordering and surrounding countries, which, the U.S. has already, because of this, sent troops to the Middle East. So we're already kind of active in this, which requires more of our financial support of this war. Now we're actually putting U.S. bodies into the support and the defense of this, which, could possibly, I may be taking it too far, but could also lead to world war, because Syria, Iran, Lebanon, all of them are very friendly with Russia, and it just can get very tricky very fast. And I that's a concern. And I think what's also becoming a concern to me is that the blowing up of these brown bodies, seeing garbed women in distress carrying babies, seeing buildings completely destroyed is becoming normalized to us. So it's like, oh, that's happened in Gaza now, but now this is happening in Lebanon, which then could happen in, all these different surrounding countries. And it's just becoming it's just normalized to us, and we're not really paying attention to what's happening. And all of these have really, really catastrophic and real consequences. And Israel continues to do what it does, regardless of the international laws that it's obviously breaking and continues to break and will do in other countries. It's just not Palestine. What's stopping them from doing it everywhere with whomever they're at war with? And we pay for it. So
I don't have anything to add to that. That's it right there. The U.S. has basically said that Israel needs to stop with this and that they don't want a larger war to happen.
I know for a year.
And what's his name? Anthony Blinken was in flight flying to Qatar to continue to talk about ceasefire talks with Israel and Hamas, and then this happened while he was mid-flight. Like, what the fuck? And wasn't aware of it. So really quickly, the IDF shut down Al Jazeera in the West Bank. Al Jazeera is an Arab-led news source that is, a resource for many people. I watch Al Jazeera. I follow Al Jazeera. Israeli troops raided the offices in the West Bank. And Al Jazeera was live showing Israeli troops doing this. They also defaced and tore down a shrine of a journalist who worked for Al Jazeera that was killed a couple years ago. So just nasty work. They also ordered that the office be shut down for 45 days, which at that point was 45 days away from the presidential election here, which is very, very interesting. It follows an order issued in May that saw Israeli police raid the Al Jazeera's broadcast in East Jerusalem, seizing equipment there and basically saying you cannot broadcast from anywhere within Israel, but the West Bank is the West Bank, even though it's in, again, it's so tricky. The way that land is cut up and fractioned, they shut them down, but they're still somehow reporting. They just don't have their infrastructure in their offices. So that's something to take a look at. But the big story here is Marcellus Williams. I was really fucked up over this. And I have all of these bullet points and things to discuss, but I'm going to play a clip that will summarize it. And it's a fairly long clip. It is from Democracy Now! I love, love, love that news source. You can find that on YouTube. It's a wonderful nonprofit news source. But Marcellus Williams is now deceased. But he was convicted of murdering Felicia Gale, a well-known newspaper reporter in suburban St. Louis, in her home in 1998. The Missouri Supreme Court refused to overturn his death sentence. It went all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, in which Justice Kavanaugh and all of the other right-wing Supreme Court justices refused to overturn it, while the left-leaning ones wanted him to have an opportunity to make another case for himself and for them to actually look at the case. The prosecutor, the jurors who sentenced him, the victims' families, and the defense all tried to stop the execution and send the case back to a lower court. But the state attorney general maintained that Mr. Williams, who was 55, was guilty, and they just went on with these legal battles over the year. I'm going to play the clip because I feel like it summarizes things more succinctly than I'm able to. And then in addition to, and I really want to talk about the death penalty and things more broadly afterwards, but I'm going to play it right now.
A few minutes, but it's possible that Marcellus Williams only has a few hours. Can you explain what you are calling for and what this case at the last minute is all about?
Yes, at this time, we're asking for what Marcellus Williams has been asking for 23 3 years, which is for a court to take a full and accurate review of the proceedings before it. Right now, for the first time ever, a few weeks ago, the prosecutor had to take the stand and testify under oath about his strikes that he used during the jury selection process. And at that hearing, he testified that he, at least in part, struck a juror based on his race. Yet right now, we have yet to have a court who will fully examine and review that evidence. We know that that's a violation of the Constitution. The prosecutor agrees that violated Williams' constitutional rights. But what we see is a system that's looking at finality over fairness, rushing to get to an execution date instead of taking the time to stop this execution and look at the merits of what is being argued.
And what was the main evidence against him? And could you talk about the advanced DNA testing and what it's revealed about the murder weapon?
Yes. So Mr. Williams was convicted based on what we know is a leading cause of wrongful conviction, which is essentially informant testimony. So this is a murder where there were no leads for months and months. And then at some point, the police suggested to the victim's husband that he should offer a reward. And it was only then, after a $10,000 reward had been offered, that the first informant came forward, a jailhouse informant, who said also that he wouldn't testify until he got the money. The information he provided was information that was essentially out in the public sphere from the newspaper, but he also provided information about another informant, a woman named Laura Asaro, who had had connections to Marcellus Williams in the past. She also not only had incentivized by the reward money, but the police forced her to talk by picking her up on her own warrants and saying, you know, we can arrest you and charge you with these crimes unless you help us here. At the time of the crime, there was a number of pieces of forensic evidence, including bloody footprints and hairs found at the crime scene, all of which exclude Marcellus Williams. In 2015, however, Mr. Williams requested additional DNA testing of the murder weapon, which was a knife found still protruding from the victim's body. That DNA testing was performed, male DNA was found on that murder weapon, and it excludes Marcellus Williams. He is not the person who left that DNA on the knife. Based on all of that evidence, the prosecutor reviewed the case, brought forward this motion to overturn Mr. Williams' conviction on the basis of innocence, as well as on the basis of these constitutional violations, including racial discrimination. But on the day before the evidentiary hearing, new DNA testing came in that showed that the DNA on that knife could be consistent with the trial prosecutor's DNA and the trial prosecutor's investigator. At the evidentiary hearing, we've now learned that they mishandled that knife. They touched it without gloves in 2001 repeatedly, essentially destroying any potential probative value this critical evidence would have, which is what the prosecutor now also concedes was a constitutional violation.
So, Tricia, who is in charge at the U.S. Supreme Court of this case? What has to happen today?
So the stay motions go to Justice Kavanaugh, but the courts are going to be reviewing all of the cert petitions, the requests that the Supreme Court take on the case, as well as the motions to stop the execution. There are 3 petitions pending before the U.S. Supreme Court right now. The first is regarding the governor, Parson, had dissolved what was called a board of inquiry that was created to review all of this evidence. He dissolved it, even though Governor Eric Greitens had appointed it. So the first is regards to whether or not he was able to do that. The second is whether the federal courts should have reopened the case to allow this new evidence of racial discrimination in the jury selection to be heard. And the last one, filed last night, is about what weight should the prosecutor be given, his concessions be given. And we know that the U.S. Supreme Court has already granted review of a similar case, the case of Richard Glossip out of Oklahoma, where the Attorney General there said the same thing, that constitutional error occurred here and we shouldn't execute him. And so for those same reasons, the court should hear this case
Tricia
as well.
Rojo-Bush.
So that is the backstory on the case, on why they felt that he was innocent, why they felt that enough evidence was there to at least let people look at his case, since so many of his constitutional rights were not given to him, were not afforded to him. Jake Tapper on CNN made sure, when discussing this, and made sure to say just in general that he doesn't call the criminal justice system a justice system. He calls it a legal system. He was very emotional on this. His son being Marcellus Williams' son, was there. I had another clip for that, but I don't. It went around on social media where he was talking about, being there for his father and being ready for this and basically going to be present to say goodbye to him, and their faith in Allah. His father wrote beautiful poetry, some of which I posted on our social media. Yeah. With all of this said, I went and started looking up different organizations that are combating and doing work in the quote unquote criminal justice system and actually trying to make it more just, especially when it comes to the death penalty. And obviously there's the Innocence Project, which is who that woman was, the organization she's from. But then you also have the Equal Justice Initiative that I don't know that a lot of people know about. And they have a lot of really interesting facts and figures, information on their website. The Equal Justice Initiative provides legal assistance to people on death row, many of whom are innocent or wrongly convicted. They provide legal representation at trial, on appeal, and in post-conviction proceedings to people facing execution. And then they go on to talk about some of the factors that drive wrongful convictions. They've done a lot of research on this. In non-capital cases and in death penalty cases, they include erroneous eyewitness identifications, false or coerced confessions, inadequate legal defense, false or misleading forensic evidence, false accusations or perjury by witnesses who are promised lenient treatment or other incentives in exchange for their testimony. They have facts and figures on there where, they're talking about in the death penalty system, in this system, the death penalty treats you better if you're rich and guilty than if you're poor and innocent. Obviously, 200 people have been exonerated and released from death row since 1973, which shows you how many errors actually take place. 1,595 people in the United States have been executed. Since 1973, and 1 in 8, for every 8 people executed, one person on death row has now been exonerated. So you can imagine how many errors there actually are in these convictions rates. I thought this was really interesting. At least 44 people with intellectual disability were executed before the Supreme Court banned this in 2002. 366 people who were children at the time of the offense were executed. Okay? They were children at the time of the offense, obviously tried as adults. They were executed before this was banned in 2005. 20% mental health experts estimate that at least 20% of the people on death row today have serious mental illness. So I guess obviously we should and will hold Marcellus Williams in our thoughts and our prayers and honor him. And I think the way that we do that is by talking more broadly about the death penalty, about this quote unquote criminal justice system, this legal system, and asking ourselves the question about whether or not, I don't know if it's about whether or not somebody deserves to die for a crime, but whether or not we deserve to kill, and who makes that decision. And these are really hard questions, but they're questions that I think that we all should be grappling with right now. So I'll stop talking and let you respond to some of this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely don't support or believe in the death penalty. It makes me, when you talked about the 366 people who were children at the time of their offense were executed, makes me think of the young boy that just shot up his school in Georgia and what he's facing, what his father's facing. And our collective idea of what justice is, it's very much eye for an eye. And I don't know if that really relieves anybody of anything. This is just, to your point, America does not have the moral qualifications nor are they in like this a dynamic practice of correction, in that the fact that race, money, and politics, there's no way to like really check them, to really be like, wait a minute, they are always kind of undermining the economic system, the justice system, the education system. These things that we just refuse to really look at, to correct, to be dynamic about, erode all of these areas, all of these really, really important areas of our American existence. And it makes sense that this happened. As sad as it is, it's like, oh, that, of course that's what's going to happen. Of course you're going to have this Republican, that the Republican, Supreme Court, and then the Republican governor. Was it a governor that was supposed to offer the clemency to them?
Governor, the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, the governor, and the federal Supreme, like the United States Supreme Court, the higher court.
Especially on the argument of race and prejudice. Of course they're not going to do that, because they're so attached to one. What have they been like running their entire fucking elections on, of this woke, anti-woke, Black lives, all lives matter? Even if that man, and I hope that he did, had an ounce, what was his name? An ounce of a second thought in his mind of like, yo, this really deserves it, that would completely obliterate or put cracks in this persona and this rhetoric.
What really deserves what?
What
deserves a second look?
What's his name? Forgive me for a minute.
Brett Kavanaugh?
Not Brett Kavanaugh. The governor that could have offered clemency, the second or the third person that could have actually like offered some clemency.
Mike Parson. Yeah,
like there are all these people that, if, even though logically it makes sense, like, oh, there's holes in this doesn't make sense, but if I were to do this, what does this say about this rhetoric that us as Republicans have been talking about? It kind of goes against all of our anti-woke ideology if we were to give this man clemency on the fact that there was some racial bias happening, which completely taints it. So, but we're just like people, we're not sturdy enough to be making these kinds of decisions. We're not sturdy enough. We're not flexible enough. We're not honest enough to be making these kind of decisions around who should live and who shouldn't.
I think that requires, I agree with you, but I think that making a statement like that we're not sturdy enough, that we should not be in a position to determine who lives or dies, requires a lot of not just accountability, but also self-awareness and humility that I don't think a lot of people have, because we can turn this into a political conversation all day, right? And talk about why voting matters, right? Why it matters that all of these people are Republicans who basically blocked this man from getting his just due and his fair shot at an appeal and a real look at his case. I think on top of that, you have a group of people who believe that they are righteous. They are self-righteous. They believe that they are living in a way that they get to make these determinations. There is a hierarchy here. I am pure. You are not. And so I am judging you and making determinations about who is worthy of what, and determining your value. Anybody on death row, like, it is so clear that you are not valuable. You know, his last words were all praise due to Allah in all situations, all circumstances. And it's like, that's humility. You know, if you look up Marcellus Williams's interviews, you know, where he's talking, he's just like, if I have to die in order for there to be, you know, some light brought to this type of crime, then Allah has a will. Allah knows I'm prepared. I'm ready for this. And that tells me that Marcellus, even if let's even say that he was guilty of this, which I don't believe he is guilty. And I definitely believe that there's enough evidence showing that his rights were infringed upon, where he should have at least the charge. I mean, in another case, I feel like those charges get dropped. Like, those kind of mistakes can't happen, but but we're here now is more what I'm trying to say. Let's say he is guilty. He was guilty of it. To me, it seems like he has reformed. It seems like he's done work.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know, based off of his approach, and again, this is only a couple of interviews, but somebody who's making those kind of statements, that's the type of person that I feel more comfortable being in community with. And I can understand how you look at somebody's history and you don't feel comfortable with that, but we're so stuck in history. We live there so much that we do not give people the opportunity to show and prove. So that's just that statement in case he was guilty, which I truly don't believe he was, but that's just for those people making that argument. There's another argument, or not an argument, where history is important. And I want to play this because there is a distinct correlation between executions and lynchings.
In this country, we have a death penalty that targets people of color. A race of the victim is the greatest predictor of who gets executed in America. The death penalty is lynching's stepchild. We moved lynchings from outside to inside in the 1940s and 50s, when the political pressure on these communities that tolerated this spectacle violence got so great that they no longer felt like they could do it with impunity. And so we had these sham trials that didn't last very long, where people were quickly convicted, many of them innocent, wrongly accused. We make all kinds of mistakes with innocent people. For every 9 people we've executed, we've identified one innocent person on death row. And yet, we don't say stop. We don't say wrong. We don't say this is undermining our ability to be a free, just society. We say, let's execute some more. I think that connection is directly linked to what we tolerated during the era of lynching. And we use this threat of lethal violence from an electric chair to replace the threat that was created through hanging. And I don't think it's an accident that the states with the highest lynching rates are the states with the highest execution rates. Nor do I think it's an accident that you see communities in those states that feel deeply burdened by our continuing willingness to kill people in this racialized way.
That's Brian Stevenson, the executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative. They do have, just real fast, I just want to make sure people are aware that they do have ways in which to get involved on their website. I highly encourage people to go there. And it's as simple as like hosting a viewing for, what was the movie with Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan, Just Mercy, like where they talk about, they go into detail around this. So go ahead.
To your point too, I say with this all due respect to so many religious folks, the idea of this punitive right and wrong, you go to hell forever, you go to heaven if you're good. I also can't separate it from this like eye for an eye kind of no space for redemption. I mean, yeah, or there's so much weight in that part of the religion versus this also this gorgeous opportunity in a lot of religion for grace, for redemption, for change, for healing. I wish those Christians would lean on that side of the pendulum, or lean on that story of Christianity, and lean on that possibility that God offers us as well, because
yeah, that's so it.
It makes me sad.
I mean,
it makes my fucking chest burn.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I don't know any religion where killing is okay. And this is the pro-life party.
Child.
That's all about this death penalty. Okay? You cannot be pro-life and then be pro-death penalty. That's not making a whole lot of sense. And you can't be pro-life because you're citing religious claims. And then it's very clearly stated that thou shalt not kill. Okay? And then you want to be pro-life. I'm very confused by that. That's not making a lot of sense.
I want to talk to people that hold those two things. I really do. I really want to understand it. I really want to. How you can rationalize that. How you hold those two things without...
They are God at that point. You are God at that point.
I am a God.
Because you are living righteously. These people are not. So you then can insert yourself into a situation and play God with somebody else's life. And you make that determination. And also you devalue this person. You don't want to, I mean, the death penalty, people talk about, oh, they're going to spend all this money on keeping these people alive in prison. The death penalty is hella expensive. It is not cost efficient. So there's that also, argument as well.
Maybe we don't have to keep people in prison for life. Like
that
why?
Part.
Like what else is there? Please.
It's a much bigger conversation. I would love to have somebody on from the Equal Justice Initiative or even the Innocence Project to talk about this. I don't have any weight there, which is why I'm playing the fucking clip. But maybe we can find somebody, we can reach out and see if somebody will come on, because I would love to unpack this further. Okay. Very, very different. Let's say pop culture. We're going to get into it. Very different. All right. Let's take a collective breath. Let's get into some bullshit. Cardi B went the fuck off. Okay. I'm telling you, we're shifting. All right. Duality. Cardi B went nuts on IG Live.
I know nothing of this, so I'm very excited to learn.
She crashed the fuck out. And I don't think she crashed out, if I'm being honest. So basically, I'll let me play a clip. My love, can you please write down where these clips are getting put in? It's hard to play the clip and then, okay.
I know you was going to go to Atlanta, and I was like, I bet. I didn't want to know what you was doing out there. I told you, I blocked. You was calling me all private numbers all morning. You was calling my mama, everything. So it's like, you trying to show me, trying to get me mad. Like, oh, let me show you the bitches I'm fucking. Let me show you the bitches in my DMs. I'm going to hurt her feelings. I don't care. That pussy must not be hitting. That you still calling my shit. Trying to get your lick back. Trying to do your big lick back. I don't care. You're fucking lame. And them bitches is lames too. You wanna know why? Because you gotta fuck them bitches in order to get your ego to feel high. You know, I'm too much woman for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm too much of a boss bitch for you. And I've always been too good for you. I've been too good for you. I've been too good for anything that is associated to you. So you gotta fuck other bitches to make yourself feel better. Because I make you feel so low about you.
That was part of it. I only played that part because I felt like she was making sense to me there. She also went in to be like, listen, you know, I just basically saying, alluding to Offset is now now that she's leaving him, he's mad. He's trying to get his lick back with her ops, where he's sleeping with people who he knows she don't mess with. He's been cheating on her. She revealed a text message thread that was just very disheartening, where he hit her up like, you don't want me? Not really. Okay. You want somebody else? Offset, please. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Please have a good night. I just wanted to know. Then at 8:09 in the morning, can I jack off with you on the phone? ? And then he followed up with a question mark because I guess she didn't respond. Just showing that he is not taking her seriously whatsoever.
He's not well. I don't know if that's a sign of him playing. It shows that he's not well.
No, I don't know if either I love Cardi B. It will be very hard to get me to hate Cardi B, my fellow Libra sister. Okay. I don't know if she's all the way well either. I say that by, I want to make it clear. I don't think that Cardi hopping on live, she said other stuff. I mean, she basically just aired him out. It was like, you're for play. I don't regret any of my kids. You're an all right father. My kids love you down. And I would never do the bullshit that you do. You keep threatening to reveal stuff. What are you going to reveal? Like, I tell my own fucking business. I have no time. I have no problem getting ahead of shit. Now you want to, I think he's taking her to court for certain things, like monetary things. Now the money is getting tricky. She's like, oh, now you want to take my shit because you're mad that I'm not going to let you keep fucking on me. Whatever. Okay. All of that, it makes me sad that that's going to be in the public because his kids will see that. Their kids will see that. He also has all hoopla of other children that she definitely, seemingly cared for, definitely was in their life, whatever. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because two things. Offset jumped into one, he kept calling her during a live and she kept declining it, but he jumped into her chat and was like, basically, keep it a buck. You fucked somebody while you was pregnant. And she didn't respond to that then, but then she got off live and wrote and did on Twitter. And so people are like, I think that he thought that was going to like obliterate her whole standing. And people are like, oh, we love it. We love it. What are you talking about? People are like finding out you keep threatening to tell her business and then you told it and she doubled down like, and did what? You've been fucking, and that's all she wrote was and did, but we can fill it in. You've been cheating on me while I was pregnant. You've been cheating on me like the whole marriage. And I've been taking you back. And now that we were already broken up with me married. So, and then you're still considering, not with me married, with us still being pregnant. So she announced that they were separated while she was pregnant. So if she went off and did her thing, so I think that he's trying to shame her because she was pregnant and there was a baby involved. And so my question to you is, how do you feel about that? Does a man have ownership of a woman's body in that way? Like, I feel like that's what he thinks. Like, well, no, that's my seed, so nobody else. You're untouchable. That you're disgusting if you have sex as a single woman pregnant with my kid.
I think people forget about early humans. And like, it took us a long time to even realize about paternity in the first motherfucking case. Like, women have been fucking multiple men while pregnant. That is early man, just until paternity and all that stuff came in and we connected the dots. It's been a thing. Now, I will say this. What is important, what is sacred, what is consequential is the energy and the emotions that the mother is experiencing while she's pregnant. It can go two ways. You are giving this woman hell, making her cry, making her feel desperate, unstable while that baby is in her belly. That is far more detrimental to the baby than if she went and had some pleasure with another man and she felt a release of serotonin, she had joy, she felt good. Okay? What is the most important thing is how a woman feels. Now, if Cardi did that and had sex with another man while she was pregnant and felt guilt and shame and deep sadness and regret, then it isn't good for the baby. It's all in context of how she actually felt.
What's good for her is good for the baby.
Good for the baby. And you were never good to her, so you were never good to that baby a long time ago. And you should be in trouble for the hurt and the cortisol levels, the stress hormones you had pumping through her body, and freaking that baby out a long time ago. That woman had an orgasm. That baby felt a rush of like, oh,
We hope. We don't know.
we
But
hope.
we
We don't know. That's what I hope for her. But that's the shit that
and
matters.
Exclamation point makes me think she was fine.
She might
with
be
it.
lying. She might be lying.
She might
But
be.
I want to
it's
think
a
about the
larger
niggas that have
conversation.
sex with women while they're pregnant, though. Like a pull belly. Like, to me, that's wild to me. That's
But
wild
why is
to
that
me.
wild though? Because you're not shaming the mom. You know, you're not being like,
I'm not shame.
I
It's
mean,
not shame. It's just crazy to me because I know that there's a
lot
baby
of
in
men
there.
are
There's a
very
baby in
attracted
there.
to pregnant women. Also because one, they can't get them pregnant. So it's like, well, this is fun.
So it's like,
And two, pregnant women are gorgeous. Listen,
ain't no
I get
sex
it.
like pregnant sex. Ain't no sex like pregnant sex.
Really?
It's the best. Oh my goodness.
Interesting. I also have another question for you because I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that we've entered Libra season. And all these indictments coming out, truth telling happening, and my Cardi B is a Libra. And people have Libras fucked up.
Talk
okay?
about it.
I think that Libras, people think, oh, you're so balanced. You're so, these are the scales, you're justice. Doesn't mean we're always balanced just because the scales is big. If the scales is tipping one way where I'm shutting the fuck up while you threaten me behind the scenes and you trying to take my shit and trying to paint a picture of me that's not real and you're fucking my ops, I can tip them scales, okay? And be like, you know what? You deserve some shit. Watch me work. That is a Libra. Libras, the best Libras fight against, I won't say the best, but the Libras who I think society likes the best are the Libras that fight against that impulse. They try to control that impulse to be like, I can hurt you way more than you can hurt me. And I'm always aware of that. So you can fuck around and play if you want to, but this scale is imbalanced and baby, we could tip it the other way. I don't even have to bring it back to 50-50. Okay. We can go 100. And as a Libra, I work very hard to be the Libra that society wants me to be. I think that maybe you've seen me when somebody got on the wrong side of my Libra scale self, okay? Where I go a little bit crazy. I lose it. I flat out the fuck lose it. And I'm curious, Shanti, have you ever been on the wrong side of Libra? Have you ever been on the receiving end of that energy? Or have you ever seen it? Know it? Because did is the wrong side of a Libra! Exclamation point. That's some shit that Mandy says all the time.
I was just about to say, Mandy is the Libra that I've seen probably do her Khaleesi. I bet Khaleesi's a Libra. If there was a sign anywhere, it would be Khaleesi's a Libra. That makes perfect sense now.
Daenerys Targaryen.
She's a Libra. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it together. I'm trying to be reasonable with you.
I'm trying to be justice. I'm trying to be righteous.
Do justice. Aesthetics are very important for Libra. So if you out here making me look crazy, like how Libras look physically, aesthetically, perception-wise, you do. Some people don't care about that. Like a Sag doesn't necessarily care how they are being perceived or look, but a Libra, that's how you really get them to like.
Don't fuck with my narrative. Don't fuck with my reputation.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I would say I've watched Mandy, Khaleesi, because I just made her a Libra. Who else is a Libra?
Mr. Larry's a Libra. Not that anybody knows who that is. Who else is a Libra?
Mr.
Mandy's a Libra.
So is
Cardi is a Libra. Kim Kardashian is a Libra. Usher's a Libra. I think they all try to keep it together. We seen Kim hit Chloe with that purse that time.
No, they fought. They fought. No, Libra women in particular tricky. Don't fuck with me. I wonder what else she got going on with her though. She gotta have some fire in her. Golly.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Interesting.
Kamala's a Libra, isn't she?
Don't say that woman name like that. Not you being
How do
MAGA.
I say her name?
MAGA
Why?
Shotzi.
Kamala. I do it out of ignorance,
my
not out
God.
of hate of her.
Doja Cat is
I
a Libra.
apologize.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
that makes
Michaela
sense.
Cole is a Libra. Tessa Thompson, Serena Williams. Serena go into her Libra tendencies when she would to. It's tricky. Listen, don't fucking play with Cardi B, and don't try to shame that lady for nothing when your ass didn't know how to act the whole motherfucking time offset.
She just
Tighten
had a
up.
baby. God, give her some time. Ew, what's his sign? Sag. I think he's a Sag. That's terrible. I'm so
You're the
sorry.
worst. We have one more topic and we got 9 minutes. I can do it.
Oh,
Are you
he
ready?
is. That's
I do
terrible.
it. Shame.
I'm so sorry.
All right, here go. Since I'm on my Libra
you
shit,
think you can do this 9 minutes?
I could do it. Janet Jackson is wilding the fuck out. And she's irritating me specifically. What happened? Janet Jackson had an interview with The Guardian where she discussed Kamala Harris when the reporter said the United States could be on the verge of voting for its first Black female president. You know what she said? She said, "Oh, she's not Black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. Her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. I haven't watched the news in a few days.
In a few years. She messed up. She meant to say a few years.
Is pissing me off. Okay. So then a man who identified himself, this is what really made me mad. A man who identified himself as her manager apologized for her statements. Okay. Mo El Marcy issued an apology.
Moesha.
Where he said her statements were based on misinformation and that Miss Jackson respects Harris's dual heritage as both Black and Indian and apologizes for any confusion caused. Well, Janet said, she said, shut the fuck up. You're not my manager. Miss Jackson distanced herself from homie and was like, you're not my manager and you are not authorized to speak for me. Okay. They then said, Randy Jackson is my motherfucking manager. Okay. Who's her brother. Yeah. And Randy Jackson happens to be a big time Trump supporter.
Okay.
So her representatives have not responded to any requests for comments, and neither she nor her representatives appear to have tried to distance themselves from her original statements about Miss Harris. This. And then come to find out, old boy who was trying to be like, oh, she ain't mean it. Well, he was fired. He said in the statement, I was fired by Janet and Randy after attempts to improve her image in front of the public opinion and her fans. And this is something I did not deserve. Let me tell you what.
This is something that I did not deserve. Yes, the fuck it was, first of all. We
got 6 minutes left. Let me tell you what, Miss Jackson. Okay? I saw Whoopi Goldberg on The View trying to give you some bail, trying to, give you some space. Listen, sweetie. You got to know what the fuck you're talking about when you're going to talk. You never talk about politics, which is why this is so frustrating for me. Actually, you never talk about politics very specifically. Okay? Not in my understanding of Janet Jackson do I think, oh yeah, political figure. But the fact that this is sexually liberated, Rhythm Nation Janet Jackson that was way ahead of its fucking time to come out and spew MAGA Trump information, and then to have her brother, who is a huge Trump supporter, be like, oh, nah, we not apologizing for it. That's not her manager. I am. It's just so fucking weird. Where did this come from? Why now? Why did you even answer that question? You could have said, next question. You could have said, take this out the interview. I don't really want to talk about that. But instead, you chose to speak on something when you know you hadn't watched the news in a couple days, which is making me irate that I haven't watched the news in a couple days. The way in which she can operate, just being ignorant and this not really of this election has serious consequences, right? And then the fact that you can just operate being ignorant, not being in the know, spewing misinformation, and then spewing misinformation that has to do with the candidate's race when you and your family have a weird relationship with being Black. It's just not all sitting right with me. And then the fact that somebody tried to apologize on your behalf and you fucking fired them and was like, he don't speak for me. And basically, in my opinion, doubling down. Where's Justin Timberlake?
I ain't mad at it.
You ain't mad at what?
Not at all. I think the misinformation part is disconcerting. It's disappointing. And it's like, oh, but I think this collective, especially Black people, this collective response or this collective, how we handle our collective disappointment and assumptions, number one, to think that Janet's going to support Kamala.
It's not about her support.
Or
it's
whatever.
I need to be clear.
Let me finish.
Okay,
let me finish.
I want to be clear about
Maybe
what I'm saying.
that's not the error. What I fuck with is that you're not going to bully me or make me scared of cancel culture to go and rescind what I said until I feel it, until I understand what I said, until I have the voice to say it. Otherwise, it's just performative. And the guy that went on there and overstepped his role, because obviously he did, unless there was some type of like, hey, can I say this? She said yes. Then she said, she's gaslighting him. But for him to do that, to make right and to say sorry so that everybody calms down, because we don't want everybody to know that Janet may possibly be a Trump supporter, which she has every right to be, to me, is dumb.
Yeah, that's not the point here. And that's not what I'm speaking to.
That's the point for me.
Okay,
for me,
but
that's what I'm speaking to.
What I'm speaking to right now, in my frustration with her, is peddling misinformation. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut up. And then on top of that, I don't know what research you have to do to know that her father is not white. That information is readily available to you. So for you to double down and like not apologize is weird. It's weird. And to not be like, oh, I was wrong. Her dad is not white. Like that is a way in which that's the way that the Trump campaign has, that's so disrespectful to Kamala. It's so disrespectful. And the fact that another Black woman is doing that to another Black woman is an issue for me. And if Janet came out and said, I don't get how you don't understand this, but if Janet came out and said,
didn't say I didn't understand
Janet came out
it.
and said, I support Trump, fine. You fucking support Trump. I'm not going to like it. Do your thing. Here are the reasons why I support Trump, fine. But she came out and just said some shit that was factually inaccurate. And it's not like she said it to her friends. She said it in an interview where you have a platform where you need to be responsible.
I understand.
And you don't even
that
speak
is an error
to these conversations. You don't even speak to this
there's
topic
multiple
point.
things happening. There's multiple things happening. That is an error. I'm not speaking to say that I'm not defending or saying that she has a right to do that. She should publicly speak out and say, I made a mistake. That's all she has to do.
Yeah, that's it.
I think she should do. But I think because somebody else went out and spoke before her, because we're all in this habit of this quick public, let's go and put a tie on this thing to make this public, to relieve everybody of their disappointment or their judgment. I kind of like that she's disrupting it. And it was like, no, that's not how I feel at this moment. I'm not convinced. She might not be convinced. She may read all of that shit. And because she's a supporter of Trump, because she wants to believe what she wants to believe.
She is a supporter of Trump, though.
We don't know. But I'm saying she may actually believe, which many Trump supporters believe, this misinformation. And she does not feel like she needs to come out and apologize, which what you gonna do? Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna do it.
All right, everybody, we have an interview that we have to get to. It's time sensitive, but I will say this. Google a picture of Kamala Harris's daddy and you can see this motherfucker's not white. That's all I got to say.
She said that is an alien.
Janet,
he has a cap on.
It's real easy. Janet, be quiet if you want to give your opinion on the election and you want to tell us who you want to vote for, why, fine. Who gives a fuck? But don't be out here telling us that this Black woman is not Black. That's fucked up. And you're wrong for that. And on top of the Jackson family having very interesting relationships with being Black is weird. It's fucking weird. And I don't know if it's by accident, but maybe she going through something. She's mourning her brother, but we gotta go. She said, I ain't mad at it. Yeah. If somebody tell me
I don't
I'm
think
not
you
black,
understand what I'm saying,
I
and
do
that's
say-
okay. I
no,
don't
do
actually don't know
understand.
what you. Then
I
don't
do
say that
understand
because
what
that's
you're saying.
confusing.
Well,
No. All right.
you said I'm not mad at it. Bag of shots,
I'm
y'all.
not. No. What? See, you're being tricky,
Joke.
and
It's
that's
a
how shit
joke.
gets weird.
And you know it's a joke. All right.
I don't like it. All right.
All right.
Bye.
You called everybody the wrong name too.
I don't. For the life of me, I can't say her name properly.
You just put the accent at the front. Yeah, just put the accent at the front.
Kamala.
No.
Kamala. Sometimes I say it right, sometimes I say it wrong.
But it's not with any malice.
No.
But you understand, are doing it with malice. We gotta go. That lady probably on there like, they're not respecting my time.
I thought it's 3:30. I have on my thing 3:30.
That would be really tricky if it was 3:30. Then we got more time to go through this if you want, where we could take a quick break or get ready for our interview.
Go through. I think we should get ready because what else you want to talk about?
Nothing. Shanti is not MAGA. Shanti's not. We don't know if Janet is MAGA. Janet needs to know what the fuck she's talking about before she speaks. But Shanti, if I understand this correctly, is not mad at the fact that she's not trying to be something that she's not in front of the media, because everybody's just trying to be PR.
If that person stepped out to button up her name and that's not how she feels, she has a right to say, no, that's not how I feel. Why are you overstepping? Especially if she's paying him. Who are you? And then he's mad. Like, no, that's just not the sequence of.
I think he's mad because I think he thought that he was the manager.
Protocol.
Because I think there were some documents that came out saying that he was the manager. So everybody's.
But
confused.
even a manager shouldn't do whatever they want to do to like, in terms of PR. Your manager shouldn't be.
If Jazz say something stupid, Juja better come out there and clean it up. Clean it, Juja, fast, hurry. I'm gonna be texting her like,
Jazz wants her to
say this. Shit, I'll go on her social media and do it. I'll be like, I didn't mean to do that. It's a joke.
To me, that is overstepping the boundaries. Like,
no,
they got to speak for themselves.
But something as simple as this, can you do me a favor? Have you ever Googled Kamala Harris's dad?
She said he's white. She said, why they keep calling her black? That lady is not black.
She said she Indian. Can you please Google her dad? Please. Oh my God. His name is Donald J, which is crazy. His name is Donald J. Harris. Donald J. Trump. Interesting. But she don't never talk about her dad, which is also interesting. He's Jamaican.
Like an elderly.
He is not white. There's nothing.
Family.
Go to the images. Go to that man. Go at images to see every image of this man.
They said they lied. That they just did that. That ain't real. That's what she believes.
Why would she think that? Why would anybody think that?
Because Randy told her that. And they live in a silo.
Right,
she don't like to
help me understand. I haven't watched the news in a couple days.
She said, I haven't. She said, no, we found out that she's white. I mean, she's Indian.
I haven't watched the news in a couple days. It's crazy, Shanti.
She should have said a couple years. That's what she really meant to say. I haven't watched the news.
Is
period.
that better?
My brother told me. My brother told me that he ain't black.
That's what I heard. That's what she kept saying. That's what I heard. But like, Janet been in this industry for years. Why would you go on there and say that and not know and think that you saying that's what I heard is okay? Why would she think that?
And then she didn't. She said, y'all can think what you want to think because I ain't saying nothing.
Listen, I know that people want to protect Janet Jackson because we love Janet Jackson.
No, let us know Janet Jackson.
I'm mad at her. This was goofy. This was weird to me. And Janet could catch it the same way Kodak Black can catch it. You saw Chingy call hell?
Kodak Black supports Trump? I don't know nothing about
you haven't watched the news
I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah, girl. He loved Trump. That's his homie. He was mad at Trump over the Haitian thing. Not mad, but he was like, that's weird. But Kodak Black is a Trump supporter. You saw they called Chingy to do a
But why can't these black people, like, I understand theoretically, I understand socially, I understand historically. But we gotta be just like, oh, okay. All right, I see you.
No, it's more Chingy. Why would they call Chingy?
Because Chingy's an icon. He's a legendary
Is he?
icon in the
But
community.
Chingy
I
to
like
be
it when
the
you.
headliner?
What happened to Chingy? Didn't something happen where he he feels really taken advantage of something? Chingy got some kind of gripe that he's been holding on to for a minute.
Real?
What did Chingy? Somebody did something to Chingy that he has not let go of, I believe. Oh, look at him. Chingy is grown up.
Let me see you. Wait, how you spell Chingy? Chingy. Oh wow. You're only one call away.
You can't please everybody.
You looking at
He
his
said
tweet?
you can't please everybody. It's hilarious. It's an Atlanta episode. That's an Atlanta episode. All of this, you know how they.
He dropped it. He dropped out of the lineup. Howard Earl Bailey Jr. Chingy. Shout out to Chingy, yo. Chingy said, yeah, I'll take that bread real quick. Let me hold that. All right, let's get ready for this interview. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. What should we
Y'all
call
take
it?
care.
Maga Shanti? I'm playing. Don't get mad. That would be funny. You might get the people going. What's the name of this episode? Just a whole bunch of names of the things we talked about. Tricky. I don't know. All right. Well, that's anticlimactic. All right. Bye, everybody.